Hey, you guys, it's Kari with Contagious Living. And again, we're in April of 2020 during the COVID pandemic, also known as COVID-19 and the coronavirus. So I get a lot of letters that come into me, and people ask me how to deal with certain situations. And one of the spaces where people are struggling with their being contagious in their living in a positive way is we went from where we had a work life and a social life and maybe a dating life if you're a single parent, or a married life where you didn't have to share space together or didn't get to share space together every single day, right? So what do we do now that we got all these people that we used to just enjoy seeing in pictures that are now around us in our homes? So it occurred to me that a lot of you are struggling with reconnectivity that you haven't been used to, because we lived in a world where we were dual income, no kids, or dual income and kids, or people who had access to childcare that no longer do. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the anxiety that we carry when we're in this situation. So just the same as when you're a mom and you left your kids for the first time at daycare, there was this separation anxiety, right? Where your child is crying and screaming in the window. It's the last thing you see. So you get in the car and you have this guilt anxiety. Oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Is it really worth it? Am I making enough money to justify this anxiety that's creating when you leave your child, or when you send your child on the bus with a stranger for the first time in kindergarten? Those are separation anxieties. Did you guys know that we could have actually the opposite effect? And I think for the first time, we're all experiencing it on the same level. Too much time together anxiety. So I've got pictures of my kids here because I'm letting you be visual. I've got a picture of my husband here. I've got a picture of my daughter and my late friend Anna. These are people that I love, and you have people that you love. I'm in a space where I'm not dealing with this kind of anxiety. I have the separation anxiety because these people are not around me because I'm in another country. But for those of you that are writing and asking, there is an anxiety with your kids because they're struggling. They're in a space they've never been in their whole life. They're wondering what it's going to look like if they ever go back to school. Are they losing that social connectivity? Are they losing their groups? Are they losing the exclusivity and non-exclusivity that comes with school? Jesse and I talk about cliques a lot. And so I know that I had anxiety when I was in school, and you probably did too. If you missed a day of school, what happened without you, and were you still going to have those same friends and connectivity? So if you're wondering if your kids are having some anxiety, I can promise you, if you're not talking about this kind of contagious living space, then they probably are. And if you're anxious about your connectivity with your spouse or the person that you home share with, you're maybe nervous about your job, whether you're going to have a job, or if what the government gives to you is going to be something that you can survive off of. We all have different anxieties, right? And so my guess is that inside the family structure at home, your contagious living is a little bit upside down right now with this new connectivity and this new anxiety. So I want to challenge you to sit down with your kids. They'll think you're rock star parents, by the way, if you really take the time to look at their world in relation to what yours was when you were that age. It's different, but it's still not so different. We still have the same social constructs. And the kids have a different thing because they have the social media. Are you allowing them enough of that time? Because I hear a lot of parents that are saying, we're getting off the computers, we're trying to be family oriented. That's amazing, and I love that, but you got to give your kids a chance to stay connected to their social circles, and that will help alleviate some of that anxiety. But number one is, if you sit down with that spouse or with that child in your family, get your kids to sit down with their siblings and talk about the fact that we're all doing our best, because this is something we have never done before since the Spanish flu, right? We've never had a pandemic to this level. So I want to encourage you that yes, your parents are having anxiety, kids. They haven't had to be with you every day 24/7 and try to zoom into your teenage conversations and pay attention to your ever last word and pretend that they're super excited, because I can promise you, your parents have some anxiety. And your kids, parents, they have some anxiety. So sit down with them and talk to them about what's the biggest fear that you have about going back to school? What's your biggest fear about whether we go back to school in September or we suddenly get thrown back into school in June? Talk to your kids. Take the power of anxiety away, because the more that we think about it and we don't expel it and we don't share it and we don't talk about it, we give that anxiety a lot more power. Your kids are wondering, is this okay to talk to my parents about? Or, gosh, my parents aren't working, so how are we going to be taken care of? And I feel so bad for my parents because they have so much on their plate. Maybe I won't talk to them about my stuff. You've got to step into contagious parenting and dig down deep with them and have those conversations about how they're feeling and let them tell you. If it's not what you thought it was, that's okay. It might be something completely, totally different. Maybe you've got a very high self-esteem daughter who's just worried about what the next fashion piece is going to be that switches in school, and she's not there because she's the iconic one who always wears the fashions. Who knows? Whatever it is, it's important to them. It was important to you and me when we were that age, right? So let's stay contagious in our thought processes so that we can keep the lines of communication open and keep contagious living in a positive space for you and less viral. Talk to each other, you guys. Thanks.